So today we are going to have a look at JADE Ethnic Orchestra, which is a new sample library by Strezov Sampling, and it's basically Chinese ethnic orchestral sounds and a lot more. So actually we have bowed string ensembles, we have bowed strings solo, we have pads, we have percussions, we have plucked strings, we have voices, and we have winds. And if I just open a patch up here, so you can see that there's a lot of stuff going on. Just check this folder alone. Oops. Oh, here. I'm getting old. So then we have the pads. This is just one patch, but I mean, don't be, disappointed, because when I load this later on, we just make it probably from the top, start somewhere at the top. You will realize that there are also inside that one patch that there is a lot of going on, so you can pick from a specific menu inside the GUI. And also I'm pretty happy that I managed to change my screen, to the Cubase layout. So okay, without further blah blah, I already loaded the first patch, which is the bass Morincourt ensemble pizzicatos, and I will just play all the patches. And if you got any questions or I start talking again, which should sound actually a little bit nicer, because I received my new, I always forget the SM7B. That's right. I always try to remember all these, product numbers, product names, but I always forget them, which is kind of embarrassing when you're doing, videos on YouTube or live streaming. So let me just play a little bit here of these pizzicato. So just in case, I sometimes do this. It actually sounds a little bit embarrassing, but if you have trouble finding, kind of the vibe to get a little bit, and I don't mean this in a negative way, it's just a very easy approach when you just want to, start experiencing a little bit with pentatonics, or, let's say like what typical traditional Chinese music is played in. You can just play the black keys. So it's just in case you're just starting, you got a new keyboard, you got some money for your first digital audio workstation, you got some nice Chinese sounds like, for example, JADE right now, and you're just fooling around a little bit and you're having some problem getting the vibe. Just to fool around a little bit, it's always a good idea to just, start with the black keys. Okay, let us just, I probably don't want to do this for every instrument. Maybe we just switch over to the staccato samples here. And I hope the volume is okay. So let me know, guys, if the samples... I could probably turn down my voice a little bit. But I mean, just let me know. I can just easily, just turn myself down a little bit. So let's take this patch and just check out the different microphones. I'm not going to do this for every patch, but just let's check how the close mics sound. Or just turn off the reverb, probably would be a good idea. So just let's check out the Deca tree only. let's try this together with the close mics and just reduce the volume again. And I could just simply, let's not load each of these individually, but you can get an idea, you know, if I just load one microphone instance, so you can see that's roughly around like 24 megabytes. Okay, so let's just mute, let's just solo the close again. Solo the Decca tree. And solo the hall. And all combined again. I probably have a little bit too much compression going on here, so that's why you hear me playing on the keyboard. And with reverb. And I mean, you get an idea of the typical stuff you can do, that you just you know, do all the panning and all these things. Also, you can get all these things going from the manual, from the website. If you just want to know more details about the library itself, the size, the price, and everything, we're going to take a look at this later. But for now, we just want to focus on the sounds. So let's load the sustained tremolos here. Hey Max, hey Radio, thanks for joining in. Maybe I should turn off the reverb. I mean, I really like that sound because it adds a little bit of a, you know, even if you want to use it in a traditional context with the orchestra, it always sounds cool if you double the double bass with more in chord samples. That sounds really great. Hey Andrew, so I think you're probably talking about on my Discord channel that you can see that I'm streaming now live, right? Probably. Yeah, I don't want to check. But glad it's working. Okay, let's check out the next patch here. So just in case if I'm moving too fast, if there is something you want to listen to specifically, just let me know, of course. Let's maybe hear these without reverb. Let's check out the Hulu Ensemble Staccatos. And I will probably just, you know, turn off the reverb. So just in case, just let me know. I'm reading the chat. I'm having you guys in front of me, just in case if you want to see something, listen to something again. sustained tremolos. So the cool thing is with Strezov libraries that you can have overlap, so you can play. I think it's probably supporting multi-legato, these patches here, as probably the afflato strings, the very beautiful afflato strings, I should probably say. And just in case if you want, the typical, legato, so that you don't have overlap of the notes. Man, it sounds really beautiful. It's really like... I'm actually a big fan of all these, traditional Chinese kung fu movies. So I can imagine, just starting some music, some fighters in the rain, slow-mo, something. Actually, like it was it Heroes? I think, no, Hero was the movie called, so. Let's load the second. So it seems like there's been 2 Arhu ensembles, so let's load the second ensemble pizzicatos here. Let me turn off the reverb again. Thanks, Andrew. Enjoy your evening. I think you have to go to work, right? Yeah, I can just join Radio's opinion. Definitely. I mean, whether it's afflatus or, Storm Choir Ultimate or right now JADE Ethnic Orchestra, this all gets some really unique flavor. And also, I mean, as if you guys know me a little bit, Storm Choir is definitely my, my to-go choir library. I used it extensively on my new trailer album, but it may take a little while until it's been released. So I finished this finally a few weeks ago. And it's just a pleasure to work with these libraries. Because they are just intuitive, you just load something and it exactly is what you expect. So let's check out. Let's move on to the ensemble staccatos. Let's turn off the reverb again. Let's do a direct comparison, for example, of the... Okay, so it's definitely probably like arranged or seated like a traditional orchestra that you... And to be honest, I'm not ignorant here, but I don't have that much experience with traditional Chinese orchestral setups, the seating and everything, but I assumed it's something like the second, like violins too, something. Okay, let's move on. Sustained tremolos. I'll probably turn off the reverb. It's not that I don't like the reverb, but I just want you guys to experience the actual recordings. That's a lot of dynamic. Andrew, just sell a kidney. It's that easy. You could also compose something on your new PC and then just, you know, buy it from that money. So let's load Impressionist R1. And to be honest, I didn't dive into any what you know, I mean, I'm the intuitive guy. I just load patches and just fool around with them. But I'll turn off the reverb again here. So it sounds almost like as if you play the string with a bow instead of the you know, the hair of the bow, or actually with the arhu, it's like that the bow is actually connected to the one string. It just moves around or wraps around a little bit. I'm not really sure if I just messed up my arhu, because I got like 2 arhus somewhere in the back of the room. I should probably position them on the wall. So all my small instruments and the flutes and stuff. Yeah, actually I heard the track. I liked it. I liked it a lot. Very adventurous, very epic. Definitely enjoyed it. I think I also spent a little bit on watching the stream. So definitely didn't hear effects like this before. That's really cool stuff. Ensemble pizzicatos. So that's a Morincourt again. Turn off the reverb. Morincourt Ensemble Staccatos. the sustain tremolos. So forgive me if it's probably Zongu. It's all pronounced very specific. I know that it's kind of that it's actually Arhu or something like this, but I just have to Zonghu. Without reverb. What do you mean changing the mapping? Or better, why would you change the mapping? Okay, I'm loading the Zongu ensemble staccatos. Oh, change. Oh, oops, just falling off my chair. Change articulations by velocity. I think that's probably, like a big task, because I mean, I don't want to, reveal stuff for, I mean, you have access on this by clicking the wrench tool, but it would involve a little bit of, it's like encoded into the script. So probably the best, but to probably, hey Andy, how are you? So there you hear it. Yes, you can adjust things by clicking on the cogwheel. No, it's cogwheel. On the top right corner, we will also release articulation patches with a free update already in the works. So there you have it. I mean, typically, you're bound a little bit to the production, and changing articulations with keys with velocity is always a little bit difficult, because what do you want to have? Do you want to have pizzicatos and staccatos and, effects on the top of each of the velocities? Or do you want to simply change velocity mapping, that you change the intensity when you are, when you go to the next stage of, let's say, the high, what is it like here? I can't see it. So probably like some fortissimo samples. So we're having the sustained tremolos of the Zongu. Well, I have to correct you, Andy. It's probably something you don't use a lot. If you have to imagine, if you, for example, are a video game developer, you have a video game composer, you probably end up a lot in kind of, you know, areas or you know, kind of, you know, that there are specific races you can pick for creating your character, and there is a lot of influence on, you know, actual countries, actual existing countries. And a lot of times you get asked to, hey, you know, make this track a little bit like Vikings oriented, or sorry, the race or the country you're starting, and make this a little bit more, it's more Viking oriented. Or there is another one which is more, you know, focused on the Japanese, Chinese, Asian traditional settings. So actually, you know, if it's like a, let's check real quickly. Let's check how much so let's check the, yes. I mean, that's the price, 429 euros. But, you know, if you just drop down, I mean, you can get all the details here. So it's uncompressed contents like 220 gigs. You know, I know similar libraries who are double the price for this amount, but as with every sample library, let me just check if there's an actual size. I could just check my folder, but you know, I just want to get on the check out the sounds first. But I mean, on that philosophy, maybe this is my I mean, so I mean, it's I'm just reading the chat. You do production music 80% of the time, and you have written Asian ethnic music. But I do wish to get into video games. Yeah, I mean that's. I mean I'm using so many, especially when it comes to, you know, like, because most of the time, it's like when you have like individual country starting points in a video game, or you can, you know, pick your character, and it's that specific character is going to start at that location. It's always connected to, you know, mostly Asian or you know, Viking stuff, or, you know, then you get like an African vibe. So it's always connected. All these fantasy characters you can pick on, or all these locations in games are always related to real countries, real traditional music. So if you are working in that area, of course, I mean, it's just an investment, you know. And I mean, just to say this simply, I'm used to when libraries were like 12,000 euros. So for me, it's just, is it an investment, and will I be using that library? And yes, if this is investment for me and I will use that library, the money should be back in within like a month, probably. Okay, so we just checked out the bowed strings ensemble. Let's check out the solo strings here. That's a lot of patches. So let's start with a banhu pizzicato. So the thing is, I'm just still, you know, having this price discussion in my head, because it's always a big deal. Sometimes it's like, you know, getting a library in this of this size, you know, like a full Chinese orchestra, traditional orchestra, and this probably, I mean, not probably, but professional players, you know. And if you, I mean, to be honest, if you if you just develop just a little, like I did, you know, like just a little bit of development on sample libraries, which are really small, which probably go into like the 500 MB, 300 MB direction, and you spend that amount of time, what an amount of time and work goes into full orchestra orchestra production. And at some point, I mean, you couldn't sell something like this for like, you know, 99 euros or something. So, but as I said before, if you just really work professionally for video games, or, I mean, it's not like, it's like currently we think European or we think American, but there are also people, Asian people, and they don't have a lot of choice when it comes to samples, actually. There is not much to pick from. So let's check the staccato samples. Sustained tremolos. Also, a big factor, without, you know, bashing older libraries or anything, there was always a problem with playability also. Those most of the time you would have some, let's say, rudimentary recorded sustain samples, and now you got full legato. Let's just turn off the reverb again for a second and the overlaps. I'm just trying the mod wheel once in a while, the pitch wheel. Okay. The bass Morincourt solo pizzicato. Let me know, guys, if it's okay to hear my keyboard, or if it's too loud, the attack on my keys actually here. Solo staccato samples. So this is, yeah, exactly why Team Strezov mentions it right now, is if you layer sounds like this with orchestra, you get a lot of, it's like, you know, if you take the simmer approach for a second, that you just layer orchestra with synthesizers, low sub patches to below the bass, below the double bass, it just gives you a specific vibe. And if you just layer a traditional orchestra with the Chinese orchestral sounds, so basically all the instruments on this planet are more or less always the same. They just have different shapings, different tunings, but it's mostly always, you know, percussion sounds, and there is something put on a piece of wood, or how do you say clay? How do you say burnt clay? So, and you also have string instruments and you have wood instruments, so there's not really much to pick from. So in a sense, it is always a little bit of the same and the more familiar, right? As you mentioned, it sounds a little bit like a jazz bass. That's what a contrabass actually is. And the Morin-Cour is kind of the same, like just the shape is a little bit different and there is a little less strings on it. So, but if you layer these sounds, you get a lot of, you know, you get a lot of colorization going. %. Well, no, I mean, just to be serious, Andy, I can totally understand if you currently don't have any jobs which could afford buying this, then this is just like it is. The same like for me, you know, currently probably working or doing not much work in the field of EDM. So I don't need to buy any, you know, EDM sample packages, which I don't do. But, you know, if I would have a job, of course, this would be a choice to go for. Okay, let's check out Morin-Cour Tremolos. Oh man, just playing that. Okay, what do we have here? Dunny effects. Let's check these out. And this is really some cool stuff. Definitely, if you do some scary sound design. Okay, thanks Andy for being here. See you later. I think I had this one before. I also love all the noises in between because they add all this live feeling. I would really love to hear an orchestra library, just a little bit of an interruption, but a traditional orchestra library, which has been recorded with keeping all or as much noise as possible, except of course the bow noises. But, you know, all these little things happening when turning pages and stuff like this. I'm pretty sure this would sound really cool to keep in all the dirt in there. Danny pizzicatos. staccatos. Tremolos. Just turn off the reverb on this one and the overlap. So just... There's so much character in these sounds. Definitely like it. So let's check out. Can't wait to get to the expressive, because that you mentioned that that the expressive Arhu is your favorite. We're getting close to it. Also, we got the same, not the same, but kind of like an effects patch going on as with the Dani before. That little sound was me right now. I'm not really sure how I did it, but just just to let you know, that wasn't in part of the instrument. Just want to turn off the reverb for a second. Yeah, it reminds me, honestly, all these sounds remind me. I forgot the name of the movie I was watching. It was was it a black and white, movie about some about some emperor, and there was like a conspiracy going on. There was a doppelganger of that emperor, and he was living behind the wall in the castle somewhere. And they had battles on I don't know which instrument, but they were battling each other. There was solo. Everyone of this, it was like a couple, and both of them had like the same instrument. I really don't know what it was. We probably get to one. And when they were battling, it was these kind of sounds you heard, And then the typical Chinese percussion, lots of drums and... Yeah, since you're mentioning casting a spell, this is also the other thing which reminds me of when you watch these kind of kung fu movies. You always have kind of a witch, doing some sorcery, doing some magic. So you hear, sometimes you hear these sounds too when she's just brewing something or doing a little ritual or some. Okay, that was a pizzicato. Staccato samples of the Arhu 1. the tremolo. Okay, let's get back. Let's get to the expressive Arhu pizzicato first. Hey there. Let's play the staccatos. Okay, let's load the sustained tremolo. Oh yes, I already hear what you mean. Well, getting these high notes out of the instrument is really difficult. Yeah, you have an easy time with me playing along because because I'm really happy and really lucky when I just hit the the E minor pentatonic or the C sharp minor pentatonic. Yeah, damn, I just have to get that MIDI guitar. But man, that expressive Arhu sounds really amazing. There's a lot of passion in there. Okay, let's check out the Jingu pizzicati. Pizzicati, it's like traditional pizzicatos, but in Germany we always have everything's like E at the end. I mean, it's especially for musical terms because it's like, borrowed from Italian. Let's get the staccato going. So it's also interesting, especially when you work for video games, it's always mixing up, you know, what you expect. I mean, if you just would play, you know, something which is, let's say, as an example before, something which is focused towards the Viking culture and the country itself, but you play the style or the music, but with Chinese instruments or whatever you want to mix up. That's also always a fun thing to do. Okay, so let's go quickly through the solo pizzicatos of the Morincourt. It's funny because I don't know really what to say. It seems like each of these patches is just inspiring, and there is a lot of, you know, visual stuff going on in my head. So, okay, so sustained tremolos. Let me just quickly turn off the reverb again and also the overlap to see how the legato works. I'm always struggling with the ranges, you know, so I think, okay, you're used to just the traditional orchestra ranges. So we have the string chur. Let's load the staccato samples. Okay, just reading right. Also thanks to our collaborator, Zetsui Yu, is a Chinese composer who just knows how these instruments work best. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely worth having someone on the team who is able or capable to know what the strength of each of these instruments is. And, you know, of course, the best range. Oh, I like that already. But I would just want to turn off the reverb again. I mean, not comparing this to the clarinet, but the clarinet is an instrument for me which can sound like happy or, you know, motivating, but also very, very sad at the same time. And this is what I feel when I listen to the string chur here. You have that very often when in these movies you have like these heavy percussions going on in the background and you see like troops marching, you know, like a whole army. And then you have like a single string instrument over it. But when you listen to it solo, it almost sounds melancholic, kind of depressing. Okay, Village Arhu Pizzicato. Let's load the staccato samples. Sustained tremolos. I also like the rebowing of the let's check out some final instrument of the bowed strings, the solo strings. Staccatos. Which is disappearing. Okay, so I'm back, sorry. And let's load the sustained tremolo samples of the Song Hu. once more without reverb. Man, I definitely love this section, but yeah, as you said, the expressive Arhu is really, really great. So let's have a look at the pads. So what do we have here? As I said before, and I think we should just mention the sound design pads by Lyubomir Goshev, who designed or who did the like the creation of these patches. And these are actually really cool. So I just play the first one here, and I just play one key. This is like really great. So if you just need something which, a cutscene or something, and you need like the right vibe, the right vibe for for example, for an abandoned village, this is it. Kiba Music, thank you for following. So it's not. Sounds really awesome. Before battle, let's check the next one. Yeah, I know how you mean it, Radio, when you say does the work for you, but yeah, I mean, of course, in a sense, yes, it does the work for you when you need something, when you need some inspiration and get something going. And it's the same. I always say it's totally cool to use something like this, but when you just want to, I mean, a lot of people just, of course, use loops or design patches like this by just holding a key and enjoy what's going on by don't adding anything. But it's almost like loading a sus patch from a string library and just hitting a C major or minor chord and just hold it. It's like the same level of creativity, is going on. So, but of course, these inspire you to go somewhere. So if you just load, we will get to the winds later. So if you just have one of these patches and you just create some very beautiful arrangement, some great sounding woodwinds. Let's load calligraphy or calligraphy. Oh, right, I'm seeing that right now. I just had the impression that is... So let's do this for a second here. Let's just, solo this one. So we can have the synth only. have the percussions only, and then we have a section with the effects. Yeah, so this is pretty helpful. If you just, let's load the next one here. Creepy Creek. You know, if you like that patch, but not the synth really, so you can just... Yeah. I don't even know how to translate that. Patch Dragon. Very cool stuff. Female warriors. Feng Shui. Let's check the individual ones here for a second. Yeah, that's actually a lot. If you think about it, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 20, 30 patches, something. And you have it. I mean, there is a lot of, I mean, each of these patches, each of these individual layers, you know, like the synth layer, the percussive layer, and the effects layer is like ×3. So you get like roundabout 100 patches again. So just in case, if you would think, there is just one patch, which basically contains like 100 pads to use from. Yeah, let's check the Great Wall. Hey Synth Art Music, thanks for the follow. I was just thinking, because I was playing the patch and I think, you know, it's like the longer you hold the patch, the more is happening. So I just have kind of like a, that I have the feeling that I missed something on the previous patches because I was just only holding it for like 10, 20 seconds. So, but you can find out yourself if you get the library. I can also totally imagine that for a sci-fi movie, sci-fi settings. Just put like a little bit of a, ding 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 ding, something like a synth pulse below it. Very cool. Memories. So I'm just seeing right now that I have a lot of dropouts on frames. So I hope it's still back. So there must have been a drop like in my internet connection probably. Very cool stuff. Let's check out the Monkey King. Especially I like these evolving patches because you think it's just the sound and then there's some fade out, but there's something popping up in the background, or there's a lot of creativity going on here. Yeah, just in case if you can't sleep, just put one loop on your ears, just before going to bed, and you would just. Yeah, that's why. That was Rook. That's Lord Saga. It's almost like little stories, It's. Come on, guys. You named this Pets. That's way too, But it was probably better to name it like this because somebody would just expect, okay, that's just the pads. And then you just load up and you just, wow, that sounds awesome. But it's a bit like understatement, Oh, this is our pads. And then you just dial this up and it's like... tea house. In the temple. You could really hold these forever. There's something going on all the time. And I'm just assuming here they are either very long, like 2 minutes or 3 minutes, or it's like, you know, intertwined snippets that one ends and starts again and the other one is a little bit longer, and therefore it always mixes up a little bit. Wailers. And Way of Life. Man, this is really like a very surprising pad section where you get a lot of, definitely, I mean, a lot of bang for the buck. I mean, even, I'm not really sure, but if somebody would have just offered, I mean, not maybe for the 429, but maybe for like 99, just the pads, the pads, I would have probably get it too. And what's also funny, you should never forget that if you render these things to audio and just put it backwards, and then adding some, you know, like maybe some, let's say, Valhalla reverb on it, like some shimmer. I mean, specifically shimmer, Valhalla shimmer, or, you know, black hole or whatever, any of these kind of, you know, atmospheric reverbs. And then you put that onto this. And then you could even go on and take like a modulation shaper, like a wave shaper, and put this thing to chops or to rhythm. So you can get a lot of stuff out of this. And then if you just hold a little bit of a synth patch, like a synth, you know, like a bass line below it, you can get a lot of, yeah, I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be, you know, only because the library is named JADE Ethnic Orchestra, or JADE Ethnic Orchestra. It doesn't mean that you just have to only specifically use it if you want to make Chinese music. You know, you just let your creativity flow. You can, especially these pads, they can be there for almost, suitable for almost everything. Let's get to the percussion. So I've already seen that there is some quick shots going on, snapshots, not quick shots. But I just play the sounds available for you right now. All the stuff which is mapped on the keyboard. Probably muting my microphone here. So what I'm currently doing is a little bit unfair because it could be that, you know, several of the same samples would have been mapped to different keys. But it seems like it's all individual samples, which is cool when you just want to go for layering. I mean, you could quantize it, I mean, humanize it, not quantize it. Yeah, right, that's what I wanted to suggest anyway. Instead of just, you know, let's say getting familiar with a library and just coming up with a piece, which would probably take another 2 hours to write, we could definitely have a listen to the demos. Which is also a good thing when you leave this Twitch stream on Twitch and you don't port it to YouTube, because otherwise then it may, you know, mess up your algorithm, or the monetization, and then you would just have to take care of this, and you don't want to get into, you know, especially like misusing any of the other, you know, fellow composers' music. But so you could already layer these, you know. Sticks, very important. Okay, now it gets difficult. Yeah, I'm, you know, I suck too much at keyboard playing, but you get the idea when you just layer all of these sounds and always, as I mentioned in a few streams before, it's always a good thing to treat percussions like, you know, like a string ensemble too, that you have like low sounds coming not that often. I mean, just in case if you're struggling with your arrangement, with your percussion arrangements, that it doesn't make that much sense to go like, and then just like, so you would probably turn it around like, and play the fast stuff up here, and then you just I can't do it, but you get the idea, right? It's too no, it's just too far apart. We could program it a little bit, but I just want to give you an idea of the sounds first. Team Strezov, thanks for following. Thanks for being here tonight. It's really a pleasure. So, you know, probably if you are a user of other Strezov percussion sample libraries, you know that you got a kind of the same or a similar setup here too. And this is really cool because you can raise the transient attack, that you have more attack, and you can lower the sustain. So if you... So what happens is that it doesn't really sound... Thank you so much. I'm not really still sure. Eves? Is it Eves or Ives? But you probably know who you are. So thank you so much. Seriously, thank you. So you can raise the transient attack here, or you could lower it and make the percussions more sustainish. So there is a lot of... Oh, Eve, okay. I just have to remember, because once you told me that you're actually not really good at speaking French, but that probably English is your main language. So I could just probably say Ives and you're not. So I was just kind of, you know, messing with your name. So, but you can of course have both. You have the transient attack, so you have a lot of attack, a lot of sustain. But if you think, you know, there's too much going on or whatever, too much sustain, I mean, let's just exaggerate it. And this is pretty cool because you don't really, you know, take away the release. It's just more attack and less sustain. And if you just turn it around like this, of course you have a little bit of attack going on. And this is especially helpful, let's say when you do trailer music, and these drums are definitely great for that, you know. You just sometimes need to put in some more transient design and raise the attacks, and then or just in case if you just need more attack, whatever, you know, you get the idea. The great thing is also to use the patch, the pitch, patch, push. So why this is really cool, I probably just do it. Let's load the percussions twice, because I just want to demonstrate this really quickly, because it's really like a time saver when creating huge percussion. So what I'm doing right now is that I set the same MIDI channel to this, so I can trigger both percussions. Let's solo this. And I just make this really... And let's load the other one, or let's solo this for a second here. Not that much, but... And then you play them both. So let's listen to one again, or just as it typically sounds. Let me just reset this. Let's recreate this a little. And then again, both. So you get some massive stuff out of just one drum. So you just change the pitch quickly, you load another instance. And now imagine that the same happens for every other zone too. I mean, not it happens, it doesn't happen, but you have the option to just, you know, let's solo this again. And let's have this. Let's do something like this. And then you play this. And you just, do I have my limiter turned on? So. So you can get some massive drum section out of this one percussion patch. And you know, I mean, you get the idea. You can go way more extreme. Let me just reset this real quick. By just maybe let's. I mean, and I'm not even taking care of the arrangement itself. It's just. And let's like this. So I'm just playing 4 keys. So imagine you do the same as before, just loading another patch, set it to the same MIDI channel, and just play a little bit with the pitch and the trench and the attacks and stuff. And I mean, you got 12 zones here, so you can do a lot of stuff. And I just don't want to forget that you have, when you click over here, yes, so you have. I'm not really sure, but yeah, it's completely different instruments. So this is also another thing when you think, oh man, you know, I'm loading percussions. It's just one patch, a few drums here. Let me just load it again. To just get really disappointed, you know? So you see like these drums here and then, okay, that's nice, but that's the only percussion patch. But then you have to be aware by hitting that little thing here, and you have all the snapshots on additional stuff here. So you got the bow cymbals. Then let's load the cha cymbals. Design pedal stands. Actually, let me just say something about these cymbals, because I'm not really sure, but it doesn't. Could it be that you just Team Strezov? Could it be, just in case you were still there, could it be that you sampled cymbals with I just have to check the name because I don't know what the word is in. Because there's a special kind of cymbals with rivets. Is it rivets? Like a little iron bolts. Because they sound a little bit. And the first time I watched 300, the movie, there was like a percussion part of a track where it's like a choir in the beginning, and then it changes into like a percussive, you know, a lot of heavy percussion. There was like a cymbal in it, and this sounds exactly like the one I've been missing. Really, Andre, thanks for following me. Thank you. This sounds exactly like this. Just coming to my mind because I was on the quest for this for such a long time and I couldn't actually find out what it is. So let's take a look at the design battle stands. Oh, yes. Hey, Xenos. How are you? Yeah, you could probably get something, you know, get it a little bit more similar to these percussions. But I always try to imitate these percussions, and I think the first time I heard it was like with cymbals with rivets in it, with these bolts in it, and it sounded a little bit like the same, but there was no sample library, and I think to that time back then to, you know, purchase a sample, a cymbal like this, maybe I should do, maybe now I should buy one of these cymbals, but this one comes really close. So I mean, even if these are designed patches, they sound completely different than. Just on a side note, I really like how my little equalizer on my picture is just reacting to the drums. Okay, let's take a look. There's so much more. The Clumsy Panda. Practicing my 16th game here. I'm just, you know, it's like one of these, it sounds really promotional, and I really don't want to sound like the guy who sounds like a salesman. But I mean, even if they would have just offered these kind of percussions for, let's say, the third of the price, I would have got it too. So it's some really great stuff. Let's check the next patch, Deadly Viper. You can never have enough small percussions. Oh, I love these. This is always the thing when you have like these heavy percussions going on. And then you have this. This is actually the details which make your track, you know, where you get the speed and the dynamic of the track. It's not like putting as much, I mean, even though it's helpful to have layered percussions in the lower register like this, but what really makes your track, you know, going and, let's say, I always have this special word, but I forgot it. You know, which brings that speed or that pulsing factor to the track is always the little percussions. So definitely great to have. Ghost of the Widow. We help you out, Eve. You lost the whole chat. Oh, the whole chat is gone. So it's actually probably just a little bit of the arrow. You mean on the interface on Twitch? There is a little arrow on top where you can just put. It's like, you know, like that. there is the arrow here, and then you have like a little line to that. It's probably, or the other direction, the arrow goes like this, depending on how on how you see it right now. So, but I think this is like, you probably hit the chat. Man, this really great sounding stuff. Shuriken. I played with these when I was a kid. I shouldn't mention this, but we bought shurikens as kids. I'm not really sure if we have been 18, but then it was like 20 years ago, so no longer. I think I don't remember how old I was. It just comes to my mind when I was reading Shuriken that we bought these shurikens back then, and we went to the garage of my father, and then we just took all the the tools and sharpened these things like really hardcore, and just But I'm pretty proud, so that we just always had like wood or like plastic where we just threw it on. So we didn't hunted animals or anything. That would have been a little bit too sick. So we just stick to wood. But damn, these things were really sharp. So library bringing back thoughts of my youth, experiences of my youth. Let's see what the next one brings up. Carnatex. Man, this is like, seriously, I really love this. Oh, I'm streaming. No, makes you forget that you're live and then just getting lost in the instruments. I can't make... I can't even make out, usually when I just... It's probably random, but it seems to be a lot of samples, because usually when you just hit it and you see like you hear like a 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 pattern, and then it's like, hey Manaberry, nice to see you. I should probably mute my microphone for a second. I just had this funny thought, because sometimes you see like people in Bavaria, they're just playing with spoons and they're doing these tick, 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 tick. And I was just, I'm sorry to say this, but Chinese musicians playing with chopsticks, doing it the same way. Just, I have a weird brain, you have to know. It just comes up with all kinds of weird thoughts and funny things. Training camp. Oh, shouts. You never have enough shouts. I mean, you can never have enough shouts. Hey Manaberry, you probably missed let me just go back. You probably missed the entire bowed string ensembles and bowed solo strings and the pads. So we are right now in the percussions, and then we will follow with the plucked strings, the voices, and the winds. I'm really excited for the voices, actually, but you know, I didn't expect that much content. It was like not fully like a reaction, let's say a reaction stream, but I wanted to see, just checking some sounds to make sure everything installed the correct way, and just explore this with you guys, and not just, you know, knowing the end of the joke in a, you know, in an allegoric way, but explore the entire library with you. I'm not saying this library is a joke, oh, for fuck's sake. So, but I just, you know, to get the idea. Also here. But I just wanted to explore with you and be a little bit surprised when I get to patches I wasn't aware. And to be honest, I wasn't aware that the snapshot material is that much. Don't worry, Manaberry, you can check out the, you know, typically my streams should be up for like a month. So right when this one ends, it should be on the platform on Twitch. And also I will, I probably should mention this, I will definitely do a dedicated YouTube video to just play the patches. Not probably that much talking right now, as I do right now, but just going through the patches so you can get an idea and watch it in a more condensed, you know, informational way. And this is like almost, this patch is like almost as huge as it's crazy, seriously. I mean, what else? Mallets, miscellaneous 1. These are one of the most important samples, you know, sounds when it comes to, because you hear that so often, some kind of in the bamboo forest, there's some fight going on, you know, like everybody's flying around, and then you have these heavy percussions, and once in a while, where is he, you know, and then something like this. So mallets. Could almost play a melody with this. The Peking gongs. Oh boy. Man, I really love these. Check the next one. The rolls. People have an argument in the kitchen. I wish I had kitchen tools like this. I really love these because this is typically also the thing you hear in these movies when there is like a battle scene. Not like really like a battle scene because, as I mentioned before, that scene where like the couple is kind of battling each other on the on these instruments, and then they just start fighting, but it's not like a serious fight to death. So it's more like a, let's say, a traditional fight or something more like a ritual. Very cool. Solo percussion. We also get solo percussions. And this is really a lot. I thought these are just some kind of designed sounds you get as additional, you know. Yeah, Xenos Music just quickly was reading. No point in being sorry for this little bit of off topic. To be honest, I don't have a lot of experience with Thunderbolt. But yeah, if Manaberry says that AMD and UAD is a very bad combo. The only thing, I don't want to bash AMD, but I back then got well, first of all, I'm not really sure if it's still the case, but there is some issues with latency, low latency in the low latency area. I'm not really sure if this still happens with a Threadripper. Okay, quickly. Yeah, thanks, Team Strezov. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate, and as you guys can read, so if you have any questions, get back to the guys, write them, and they will get back to you as soon as possible. So really thank you for being here. I will just lead them safely and happily through the rest of the library. And yeah, it was definitely a pleasure. And yeah, anytime. Okay, so thanks for being here. So I mean, basically that was the reason why I got Intel again. And also, I'm not sure, is ATI related to AMD? I'm not really sure. The graphic cards company is AMD ATI. I'm not really sure. But I also had questions with problems with you know, ATI. Oh, bought by AMD. There was something like this, yeah. So I mean, I remember I had one ATI graphic card, and it just, you know, got messed up like half year later. And there was a lot of stuff introduced on the, a lot of how do you say, like remnants, like weird graphic bugs, and that was it. Also, I remember I had an AMD CPU, and it just also got, I'm not really sure, so I can't really speak for the new Threadrippers, but I know that there is some latency stuff, especially in the low latency stuff area, low latency area. There's something weird going on. If this still applies to the new devices, so I can totally see why there may be a problem between UAD and AMD. And also I know that that Thunderbolt in general is a little bit of a problem on PC. So as far as I heard, it definitely works better on Mac, because I don't know why. Okay, so we have the tum-tum, we went through these. So this is the entire, I honestly didn't expect that the entire percussive section is like this big. So let's go through the plucked strings here and continue with some more melodic instruments here. Oh, that's cool. So you can play basically the sustained chords above, and then you can either have stopped, but you have probably fast round robin. So you have it's basically repetitions. It sounds pretty good. Darwin sus tremolo. Really cool. Oh, I don't know how to say this. Gukin harmonics. I really like these sounds because they sound like flageolets or harmonics on the guitar, but it reminds you of that. But then again, not. So it's like a perfect instrument I would use. I instantly had in mind something like Fallout. So you're just wandering, you know, through a post-apocalyptic world. Hey, Black Kite. Thanks for being here. So I have a lot of reverb below this, have a lot of, you know, like distorted synth patches, maybe like something they used in Gravity. Was it called Gravity? Sandra Bullock movie, and George Clooney, where they had these swells, synth swells. If you would use this with these instrument, with that instrument here, with the harmonics. That should sound pretty cool. Gukin sustained tremolo. You really hear like the, you know, the fretboard. The noise and the rub. I really like that. Bends, Guseng bends. And we have some key switches here, so this is probably... bends up, bends down. Very cool. Sustained tremolos. Solo bends. And we also have bends down here. Also, that comes to my mind right now, because I was always, I think right before starting the stream, I just realized that I just have to watch, but I think I realized that I hit 600 subscribers. So thank you so much, guys. I just can't see it right now from here. But it's probably because of all the people just following me during the stream. I'm probably above 600 right now. So that's really cool. Thanks so much. I just wanted to mention this. And I just have to be careful because I probably sound double. So I just have to stop my stream for a second. 604. Thank you so much. So I just jumped over this mark. So I just wanted to let this out. Thanks for following me all. I really appreciate. I never imagined that in between, like when I started in January and now it's May, that I would have gained, you know, like 600 followers. But it wasn't my job. It was you know, you guys, you guys. So let's check some new instrument here. Leo Quinn bends. Liu Kin. Wow, that's a... So it's the same. You have up and down bends. Liu Kin chords. So it's fifth chord, so... So it always sounds nice on a pentatonic. Oh, I don't really know why, but there must be something. So let's check sustained tremolos. Okay, and just go a little bit faster through these because we still have... Holy shit, we still have... Oops, I'm sorry. We still have the pluck. We still have the voices and the winds. So I really I expect something similar with the winds, with the voices. You know, that there is like a, you know, it's just one patch probably, and then a lot of stuff going on. So the pipa. Why do I always hit that? The sixth. That's actually the raised fifth. Pipa ensemble effects. So I'm really curious about these effects. What I definitely have to get back to that one patch here, the Daruan chords. Was it this one? Where I wasn't sure at the beginning. I just have to play these again because in the beginning I thought these are just stopped chords, and then. But when you just play these fast. Yeah, I think he meant the Liu Kin chords, but this is just a Daruan, or how is it pronounced? But I just wanted to play this again because I was really impressed. Because you can really emulate like these fast drums. That's really cool. Not to confuse with fast trumps. they probably don't exist. Sanxian, the bends. So maybe the same is going on with the chords. No, it's just these fifth chords again. Sustained tremolos. And Young Queen bounces. What is this? Oh, okay. If you're too lazy to play this with hand, but it sounds way more. Yeah, that's a funny thing. I imagine all the time, I have these pictures on my mind, you know, of drunk, martial artists, or like just, you know, like these fighters flying through the air. There was a scene, I think, in Hero. Was it in Hero? When they were doing this ritual fight, and then they just put the sword into the water and used it as, you know, kind of using the force of the water surface to just bounce off again. It looked so spectacular. I got all these pictures in my head right now when I listen to these instruments. So the sustained tremolos. And now Songguan chords. Also, we have the same going on. Yeah, to just get on your question, yeah, they probably have overtaken in you know, power, that they have like 36 cores and that they are really cheap. But I didn't see any long-term study how long they last. I mean, if they just have something going on, you know, with heat, and if they work well, I mean, that's good. And I just need some, you know, some studies or some experiences from people what the latency level is, because, you know, sometimes there are people, they don't care if they work on a 512 or 1024 buffer. And if I would do this with a packed orchestra template, I would be the same, but I'm also a guitarist, so guitar player, so I would need to go down to 64 buffer or to 128 at least. And if it would introduce additional latency, even if it's just 7 milliseconds, I can distinct 7 milliseconds from, let's say, 20 milliseconds when I'm playing fast stuff. And it just happened over time. And the same is when I play something, for example, percussions, and you have an additional latency going on for like 7, 12 milliseconds, I'm just tend to get out of the loop, because you hear, you know, you played percussions and it beat by beat, it delays again with like 7 milliseconds. So if it stays in the 3-4 milliseconds range, this is not really a problem. It would probably happen if I play something all the time for like 2 or 3 minutes. you know, yes, and this is also why I bought an Intel 18 core for my new machine, because I just know that Intel works. And I'm not really sure. It's really, you know, it's really amazing when you see like 36 cores with a Threadripper and with like, but I don't really sure where this is going. You know, if this thing lasts like a year or 2 years, or maybe just half a year, I'm not really sure. I just need some. Let's say it was a little bit. If it would be a gaming PC, I would just say, you know, maybe get a not like one of these expensive ones, 30 cores or something, maybe just a little bit of a cheaper one, but just fuck it, just go for it, you know, just for a gaming PC. If it just breaks, I can't play games. But if this thing breaks, I can't make music. I can't, you know, following my profession. And that's why I just wanted to go the safe route. It got 4.4 gigahertz because I have the 1090X, 10980 too. I'm not really sure if I got the XE, but I think so. But I just have 3 gigs. Okay. It's time. We have enough plucked and bowed instruments, string instruments. We just probably head over to the voices. Let's check this out. I'm really curious. Is Homai Man Effects. Just one patch, but it's probably going to be awesome. I really like that. Man, this is awesome. This is like a full performance, so I can't really imagine these guys recording. Everybody's stressed, and they have the vocalists in there, and somebody starts like chanting, and everybody just gets in, and then hold a second, let's hit record, and then they just get this. This is, you know, priceless to have something like this on a library. So these are just these 2 patches. Let's just check out the legato of the Homai. So if there's let's maybe get rid of the reverb for a second here. We also have some, so these, holy shit. So these are not key switches, these are performance keys. This overtone singing is phenomenal. This is really... Man, let's check out the next one. It's a syllable builder, so... Oh boy, there's so much content in here. Oh, this is the same approach as as you have in Wotan and all of the other vocal libraries of Strezov samples. So I'm just adding a bit of these. I don't have the key and the new. And you can do so much with these. You can set up rhythms. You can set the legato to fast, medium, slow, staccato. You can. I'm not really sure how you. I should have spent more time to get these. Maybe it's just also deactivated, and you just have these rhythm. Just fool around a little bit here. Oh, I missed it. So if you just lazy, you can combine these, but I also think they add a little bit of transitions in between all these syllables. But I'm more the guy loading the individual. I'm used to that earlier, to that very early working method by importing samples actually and crossfading them. So maybe that's why I want to have the control over all these things. If you want to really have it realistic as possible, you probably want to render this to audio and do like minor tweaks in the audio files. But it's really cool to have a syllable builder because you can come up with, just assuming you want to have some syllables going on, some kind of, lyrics, even though they don't make sense. It's really a good thing to have this builder. Solo legato. Oh. And you get the same going on above here. It's really amazing to get the same syllable builder going on again for the... Let's just load a few and not, spend too much time by... the cross symbol next to the legato option. I'm not really sure if I... Or maybe you mean in the other patch, probably? Oh, the cross symbol. So there is no legato, or there is no additional programmed or whatever legato available. So this is just the. So you also can't have overlaps playing several notes at once. You can just control the reverb and the releases. So there are no releases. Right. So I mean, the same again here for the syllable builder. We could spend probably like an hour to just coming up with cool stuff here. Can probably set these. No, this is tying. This is some other kind of crossfading in between. So you can come up with all kinds of rhythms. You could probably spend an hour just, you know, learning this thing. But I mean, as I said before, I always love to just have the syllables loaded and then just play the rhythm. Just as I would typically do with a storm choir. Just setting up a lot of syllables and then just, you know, go for it. So let's load the Mongolian long song quartet. A legato. That's so cool. Let's get rid of the overlaps for a second and the reverb. Very cool. Let's check out the E legato. And I'm getting rid of the overlap. So just in case you don't know, you can play multi-legato if you just go for. So you have both of these intervals, the one going from E to F and the one from B to A are legatos too, but I just want to get rid of the overlap for now. Is that Meredith's legato? Do you hear her somewhere in here? We also got the syllable builder again for this quartet. And they also have a, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not spending, I should put more time into these, you know, syllable builders. But I'm just more, you know, interested in all the, in the variety of the sounds here. That's really, I mean, there is so much expressive and characteristic and, you know, charming stuff on that library. It's really amazing. You know, I could lean a little bit out of the window and say, how boring are traditional European orchestra, or not or European, but traditional orchestra libraries. You know, everything has to be perfect. It's like sustain and staccato. And this sounds so alive. There is so much life and passion in it, you know? I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm making my money with arranging orchestra, and I love working with orchestras, and maybe samples or live orchestra. This is definitely one of the most amazing things when you do music. But I mean, you just know where I'm coming from. It's like everything has to be perfect, you know, when it comes to traditional orchestra. And here there is so much, you know, you can really, there is so much feeling in there. Of course, I mean, if you listen to libraries like, you know, specific solo violin libraries, or, you know, of course, if there are lyrical patches, for example, on Berlin strings or whatever, you know, or even take afflato strings. I mean, it's just the way it is that an orchestra plays like this. But sometimes it's so refreshing to hear like an Asian orchestra, like a Chinese orchestra, and there is so much life in it. And the beautiful thing, what I'm trying to say with this, is if you double that with a, you know, let's say a traditional orchestra, we tend to work with usually, if you just double this or layer these sounds, it doesn't necessarily sound Chinese, but you add something to it, which may add more life to it than just a solo violin. Because usually we strive for, when we have, I mean, we probably tried it all. You play like an ensemble patch, a legato patch, and then suddenly you want to make it more alive. So you add like one or two solo violins. So maybe try to add like a, you know, like one of the more in cours samples, or the Arho legato samples. I think that sounds pretty cool. And I think we can jump over the, no, I don't want to say, yeah, we just tried any patch of that library, which is true so far. So I don't want to jump over some patch and just, you know, let's. I'm happy we tried this one out too. So let's get to the last section here. Man, we went to a lot of stuff. The DZ alto legato. Oh. Let's listen to this without reverb. And maybe just, you know, let's hit how the Decca tree sounds. Just the solo, the close. And the whole. and the alto staccato samples. Okay, so when you just hit very softly, you get like really short ones. And the harder you hit, the more intense they will be, but also longer. Dizzy piccolo legato. I'm sorry for your eardrums. I don't dare really to go any higher, but just so you hear the high note. I'm sorry. But it's a beautiful instrument nevertheless. I mean, okay, and staccato samples. Sorry, not sorrow. Sorry, sorrow. This is Soprano Legato. Manaberry, thanks for being here. We just, talked, I think, on Twitter. But hope to see you more often soon. And thanks for being here. And good luck with your setup of Vienna Ensemble. I could play this patch for hours, I just really have to be careful to not like getting into that, that Muppet Show grandpa, that guy from the Muppet Show, just going on stage and standing to the back, and just where is everyone, and just totally forget where he is. Okay, let's check the Hulu Zl2 Legato. It sounds a little bit like a clarinet. Mixed up with an English horn and an oboe too, so it's all in one. Very beautiful sound. Staccato samples. I actually like that the lower ones are shorter. Hulu Zl2 soprano. Should have turned down the volume a little bit. Yeah, it's really like a mix-up of all kinds of instruments, bagpipe and flute. But it's really amazing. I mean, we're sitting here right now for almost 3 hours, and I just play. I mean, of course, we spend a little bit of time talking, but most of the time I wasn't. I was just playing patches, and I can say we went through every patch of the library so far. There you have your bassoon, clarinet. Hulu Zl2 tenor. Oh, I can't wait to play the shakuhachi for a second here. But it sounds like it's an ensemble. It's not like a solo instrument, so. Let's move on a little bit here. What is this? Legato flute, Hushi. Funny, because I instantly connected to this kind of instrument of this post-apocalyptic world again. Lots of reverb. Maybe wrapped up in kind of a store of, you know, Atticus Ross for Book of Eli, something. Shang Staccato. Why do I always play the wrong notes? Should stick to the black keys. Suona, alto staccato. Sustain. Let's get rid of the reverb and the overlap. This note probably sticks out a little bit. Yeah, definitely. Suona piccolo. Just roughly go through the piccolo instruments. I mean, they're very necessary when it comes to full orchestra, but you know. Soprano Staccato. In the sustain. I have to say the sonar is definitely not one of my favorite instruments. I know it's necessary, I know it has its purpose, but listen to it, you know, isolated. That sounds cool. Sounds very interesting. The Vintage Staccato. Okay, and last but not least, the Xiao. It's probably my favorite instrument. I got one too. It's really hard to play. Okay, so I'm sorry. I still have my probably some Corona leftovers. It would have been cool to really have some overblown effects, but I mean, then again, there are probably a lot around. But let's check the Xun Legato. Oh, it's again one of these haunted instruments which really sound like it sounds weird, but it's compared to the direct instruments, it sounds a little bit like not being there, you know, so kind of on the how do you say, like when it's a ghost, when it's not visible, or when it's visible but you can't touch it and it's just there, you know, some kind of interdimensional whatever. Well, I could put it easy and say abstract, but and the last patch, staccato. Okay, I can't believe that we actually went through every patch. Is there a folder I missed? Probably not, but man, I mean, as I said in the beginning, or as we pointed out right in the beginning, the library is like let me check this again. It was like 429 euros. But I mean, there is so much content in there. I mean, it's like, don't forget, if you think that's a little bit pricey, please don't forget that this is like a full orchestra library. And there is so much stuff going on here. You got all these choirs. And let me just go, answer your question. So you said you'll eventually go back and favorite ones you like. Any organization tips? As far as organization, what do you mean exactly? That you want to organize a specific, or maybe like organizing your favorite patches? Well, you could still do that with the if you hit like the right key, you could probably just create a folder in here. Let's just unlock this. No, I don't want to. And then you just say add new folder, and then you probably just roughly name it JADE, and then you just say, okay, you just want this in here, then you drop it down. I'm just randomly picking something, this one, and then you put it down here. So the thing I was about to say, I love working with a quick load feature. Hey, you got 2 libraries in here. Great. No, I usually do, but this is Contact 6. So I I got all my patches organized in Contact 5, and I got all my quick load stuff in here. And for some reason, I had a bug going on in Contact 6. When I just hit like a folder, I couldn't click it. It just went to renaming, and I'm not really sure what's going on. It stopped. This weird behavior stopped like a few, I don't know. Actually, today it stopped today or yesterday. I can't remember. So that's why I started to at least put Devastator in here, because I needed it all the time. But the quick load feature is, to be honest, I find Contact really weird, because there is nothing going on where you can really organize your libraries. You have the libraries patch, and this is like, yeah, great, you got all these libraries in here. So you have to just, find everything, browse through everything. But the best way to do this is just working with that quick load feature, where you just hit, yeah, exactly. If you got Studio One, it's still a mess, to be honest, on Cubase, when you want to do this with your favorites, and then you have to open these folders all the time and go into these. And with Studio One, you have the option to just hit one key, and you got all your plugins, all your favorite plugins, and all your favorite VST instruments or sample libraries sorted. And you can even save specific patches, whatever, my awesome Xun Staccato sample, and just put it next into the list, and then just drag and drop it. This is where Studio One, in my opinion, is very superior. But it lacks a few other things, so that's what I'm currently in Cubase again. So I mean, favorite patches. I definitely let's load some of my instant. The entire patch menu. When you just pick one thing and just. So you have these amazing patches in here, which automatically brings you, beam you up to another world. I really have to agree with Team Strezov. I'm sorry, Team Strezov, when I think Robin was here, and of the team, and he said that he likes the impression. No, sorry, what was it? The expressive Arhu. Probably this patch. I really love this one. Oh, I'm fucking up that pentatonic. So thank you so much for being here. I will definitely be here on Wednesday again, 8 p.m. Central European Time. As I said before, thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. Thanks for spending the night with me. Oh, sounds so nice. And see you soon. Take care. Wash your hands and see you soon. Bye, everyone.